Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Modern Day Mystic Show. Our mission here is to help you turn whatever you desire into real-life manifestations by sharing our revolutionary technology to make that happen for you. We bring you such cutting-edge information through our resident wizard, Peter Schenk, and also through such magical guests each week that are really making a difference to improve our lives on a variety of levels. I am your co-host, Donna Whittington, along with the founder of this program, the Modern Day Mystic himself, Peter Schenk. Peter, how are you?
Donna, how are you? I'm doing great. It's good to be back, second week into the third season. We got another amazing guest tonight.
Right?
Before we get into that, I got a bazillion and a half announcements. But first, we're going to kick it off with a water blessing. So,
right on.
Take out a glass of water, please.
Water.
Raise your left hand over at about 3 inches. Spread your fingers. In a minute, you'll start to feel the energy run down through your hand into the water. And again, this is just a general wellness for the show, general wellness intent. Everyone put their attention on the water, please, and repeat the words out loud. I honor the space in which you exist. That energy flow will increase in a minute. Bottoms up. So we have a lot of things going on in the month of August into September, and obviously for the rest of the year. First things first, the HFA is coming. A production order has been submitted. I should have it in about 3 to 4 weeks. Again, this is the HFA. Sorry, I got a lot of fingerprints on it. This is a new way to travel. It's the first physical device I've ever created. I put up a lot of YouTube videos about it. You can just clock into the channel and check them out. We just received the instruction sets that will be going into the box, and they're absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, linking the device to any vehicle of your choice. The instructions are very, very simple to follow. I'm not going to get into that right now, though. We also have an Aquaware 5 free 7-day trial is available on the MDM website. You just have to register. You can download it. You can use it. You can put it on as many computers as you want. It's a full-blown 7-day free trial to really show you the majestic beauty of that piece of software. Again, Aquaware 5 is my flagship product. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot say enough things about it. And the 20th, Wednesday night, this week coming up, we have a free master class for everyone. Again, you can just register. It's about fear blockages and removing them. These classes retail for $400 each. They're cut above the normal workshops that I do, and it's absolutely free. It'll probably be about an hour to an hour and a half. We have several hundred people that have already signed up for it, so it's going to be a very large course. I don't know how many questions we'll be able to take. We might do a few Q&A towards the end. It's on a free conference calling line. They're pretty reliable. And then, of course, we have the 3rd generation master classes, which are starting in August. We're going to be advertising those a little bit later in the week, and they're all about taking control. And these are courses 113 through 118. And if you are a graduate of the 1st or the 2nd, obviously you'll get a discount. We will not. So this is a $2,400 value with the classes alone for $997, and we're going to kick this up a notch. I'm going to include, if you sign up, a free HFA or harmonic field amplifier device with this course. Okay, the first time we did the master classes, we had some really cool freebies in there. Now we're taking it up a notch, and I'm offering a free HFA device for anyone that signs up for the 3rd generation master classes. And again, there'll be information available about those a little bit later in the week. But just quickly, the course topics: course 113 is about destiny. Course 114 is about life. Course 115 is your health. Course 116 is mental well-being. Course 117 is finances, and course 118 is relationships. And again, folks, these are master classes. You can read a lot of testimonials on the website about the first 2 generations that we've done. They're very, very intense. They build upon the layers of the class before, and the energy that is, that moves through you, that is garnered and generated during these classes, increases with each class. So they are very intense. So again, this series is about taking control. It'll be on sale towards the end of the week. There will be a free HFA device given away with those when they are available in August. Very, very excited about them. They are the first physical device I've ever produced, so I have very, very high expectations for it, from the packaging down to the instruction sets to the most minute details. We spent a lot of time engineering and working with the engineering team to get this thing perfect, and it is mind-blowing. David Shear now has one, Ed Edwards has one, a friend of mine in South Carolina has one, and there's going to be more going out for more beta testing here in a week or 2. So, Donna, tell us about our fabulous guest tonight, please.
Absolutely. She's back. And of course, Regina Murphy is who I'm speaking of. She was with us back in November, so we're so excited to have her tonight. Just a little bit about Regina before we get started. Regina Murphy, she teaches people how to build effective delivery systems and use inexpensive metal speakers with her products for integration into everyday life to assist with bringing vibration of the cells back into harmony as nature intended. These products are user-friendly on phones and tablets, and most are free to download. They are used in hospitals, clinics, schools, nursing homes, and by individuals worldwide. And of course, you can connect with Regina at soundsforselftreatment.com, thesecretsofsoundtherapy.com, babyheartsongs.com. Welcome back, Regina.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Hey, Regina, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Back. How are you?
Good. So it's been about 10 months or so, 9 months since we've had you for your first time on the MDM show. What have you been up to? Please tell us a little bit about yourself, too.
Well, I've been working with sound for 12 years and in the healing arts for almost 20. But my beginning was tuning forks, the tuning fork. Then I moved into what's called silent sound, used with a transmitter, Dr. Kurt Ebert. Then a sound bed, where you lay on a bed and there's transducers with low vibrations and beautiful music, and then ultimately making frequency-infused sound audio with beautiful music, DVDs, just keeps getting better and better. But the great thing is now the delivery systems are so inexpensive, and it could get on your iPhone, and everybody needs to have one of these. So that's why I'm back. So I can explain all about it.
What is that in the background?
This is, I don't know if I talked a lot about Royal Rife in the last time I was on. He had a microscope that was so much more powerful than what we have now at UCLA, and many, many doctors and physicians and millions of dollars, and he could take, let's say, mold, and he could find a frequency that would destroy the mold, somewhat like Ella Fitzgerald could destroy her glass. So for many, many years, he made, his documents would show how many frequencies it would take to kill that particular virus or that particular flu, or calm you down. So, for instance, while I was waiting, I had 3 frequencies playing, and they were for anxiety, just so that I wouldn't be nervous. I couldn't hear them because you can't hear 10,000. I can't anymore anyway. So basically, it's about how a frequency could affect every single part of our body, and how easy it is now that I can email a Rife sound generator to Nigeria, and 10 minutes later he could be making frequencies and treating people Where 5 years ago, owning a Rife machine might have cost $5,000–6,000, and you could probably end up in jail for owning one. But now you can use it just from an email and get frequencies on your phone. So we've come a long, long way since I started working.
Why would you end up in jail?
Excuse me?
Why would you end up in jail? Why would you end up in jail for owning the machine?
Oh, many people have been arrested for having Rife generators. What happened was, once he was able to cure cancer, he was discredited, and every single thing in his laboratory, including his microscope, this is in the 30s, was destroyed. And then recently, a lot of engineers started making better technology, but using the Rife technology. And then they started selling them, and even though they would sell them and say, we don't cure cancer, because people would claim that it had cured cancer, there are many people that were arrested for having those machines. So now, because technology has come so far to where it can just be a downloadable program in your computer and emailed all over the world and into the phone, which, believe me, it took me a long time to get to where it could get into an iPhone and I could do it. So I could text you any frequency you need, and that's how simple. You buy a program, you download it, you go to whatever you need, allergy, alcoholism, AIDS, there's 2,100 presets. You make a 1-minute file and you text it to somebody you love, and then you deliver it properly. You could either listen to loudspeakers, put a headphones on your body, or these little tiny ones that go right around your neck and on your cheekbones, same ones they use for bikers and runners so that they can hear the road. They were made for safety for athletes. And so for $20, you can have a delivery system going directly into the brain, which is unbelievable, carried by the bones and the liquid in the brain. So it's very, very stunning how technology has worked in our favor. Because a tuning fork, if you were going to treat yourself with a tuning fork, you'd be treating yourself 24/7 to get the effect you'd get in 5 minutes from a blast of frequencies going into your brain.
That looks like training wheels on. Can you hold that up again? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can now. This is the frequency of the sun. You see, it almost looks like the color of the sun. And there's a hospital, I'm not sure in what country in Europe, just using the frequency of the sun to treat people.
So let's try a demonstration. Pick a frequency, and what I'll ask is everyone listening to the call to get a glass of water. I want to project the frequency into the water and have everyone drink it and notice if there's a difference or not. What do you think?
I have to tell you, on his program, it's called structuring. So that's, if we are going to structure water, I have to click on that button. So it's different if it's just going into your body than if it's going into water or oil. So I will click on the structuring. And the closer you can have the water to the speaker, the better.
Well,
so just giving you little instructions on that.
This is all about experience. I want people to consciously direct the frequency once they hear it into their water, no matter where it is. And that doesn't require the water to be anywhere close. They just need to pay attention on it.
Okay, so I agree with you on that. I was just going according to the instructions on this program. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to go with viral complex.
Let's do something that everyone can recognize immediately, maybe perhaps a chakra if they're in there.
Okay, yes, there happens to be a wonderful, amazing chakra system right here. I think you can see it a little bit better than the other one. And I was playing with it this morning and found what I've never seen before, which is a soul star chakra and an earth star chakra. So I found the numbers. I'm also very interested in numbers. So the numbers were interesting. 2722. 272.20 is the soul star, and Earth Star is 68.05. So I'm thinking that's below the root chakra, maybe connecting us to Earth, and the Soul Star up to our soul. I'm only guessing. I've never heard these phrases before. Hopefully someone in the audience has actually heard of them, because I haven't. I played it as a harmonic, so I'm clicking on Soul Star and Earth Star, and then I'll start it, and you let me know when you can hear it, because I won't know from here. If that's too loud. Is it too loud?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So
5 minutes, okay?
I don't know how to do it for 5 minutes. We'll do it for a minute or so, but I'd like everyone to put their attention on the water when they hear that sound.
Is that okay?
Perfect, right there. Actually, perfect. Nope, that's perfect. Sound like a sonar. Boing, boing, pinging. It's like pinging.
It's playing the lower frequency, so you can't hear it. At least I can't hear it.
I can hear Donna breathing. She's on mute.
What I did accidentally was click single timed, so they played them separately instead of the harmonic. So that's why we're getting now root, the Earth Star. I mean below the root. I can feel my leg, feel it in my legs. I don't know if anybody else can, but I can.
I'd like to drink as much of their water. How'd that taste, Donna?
That's great. It's good. I'm working.
Regina, what kind of success stories have you personally witnessed with this type of technology?
Well, I started by putting the frequencies in music, and really and truly that was not a popular thing to do among sound therapists, because the thinking is it has to be pure, and also many people believe it has to be organic, like a tuning fork with a practitioner using it. Where it's coming from a computer, people didn't really feel that there's a lot of love in that. But anything done with intention, as you know, when we're making the program, it has a big difference. The music has to be composed with the healing intention, or it completely annihilates the frequencies. It has no effect. As a matter of fact, it can actually hurt people. So if someone starts composing vibroacoustic healing music, but their intention is to make a fortune, it doesn't even have a healing effect if you wrap it around the frequencies. That I have found out over and over and over again, because people wanted it on their own playlist. Just it wouldn't work. So the best story, of course, they're all about my husband, because he's constantly almost dying. And he would give me great medical results because I'd have before and after CAT scans, doctor reports, and those kinds of things. So the best one about him was his prostate was so big that he could no longer urinate without being on a catheter. So he developed an awful, awful, awful infection where guys would not want one. And basically he was dying of this infection after 2 rounds of antibiotics. So the initial CAT scan showed a mass on the pancreas. Obviously his prostate was huge, several other nodules on his adrenals and kidneys. So I took him, I practically had to, carry him in, but he went to the urologist from the emergency room 2 days later, and he said, take him home, he'll be dead in a month, I have no intentions of treating him. So he said that in front of him, too. And he only saw him as a favor right away, like the next day, because he was in the emergency room on Sunday. His physician saw him Sunday night, too, to treat him with acupuncture. And so Monday morning, the urologist said, he'll be dead in a month, take him home. So at that point, we didn't have an easy generator like this. I couldn't make a frequency myself. The technician would come in and the musician, and we looked up frequencies for kidney to bladder, inflammation, and general infection. So I sat him down that night, put on 4 programs. I put on the kidney infection, inflammation, general infection, acute pain, prostate, and 727, which is like a miracle cord. It's the Rife cure-all. So he had that going for 5 hours. The next morning he gets up and says, what do you want for breakfast? And I couldn't believe it. So I took him back to the urologist because David said, I know that I can go to the bathroom. I felt everything pop. And he went to the urologist, they pulled out the catheter, and he was fine the next morning. Now, I continued to treat him. His antibiotics ran out about 5 days later. He got better every single day. On the 6th day, when he didn't have any antibiotics, he dipped a little. By the 7th day, I knew he needed his antibiotics again. He needed 1 more round. So we got that, and by the end of that 5 days, he was completely fine. And so we have the CAT scan with contrast showing all of that. Then we have the backup CAT scan on my website showing no mass on the pancreas, which they wanted to do a biopsy, which I refused. It would have killed them, actually. And then no nodules on the kidneys, no nodules on the adrenals. Of course, the infection was gone by then. And his prostate completely normal, completely normal. And these x-rays are both on the website. That's the one that, of course, I love the best because I got to keep my husband. Then there was a baby. This all started for babies, by the way. So we did baby heart songs, and there was a baby that had a bilirubin so high. When there's an RH factor problem, the bilirubin goes up from like a 2 to like a 40, and the babies have very little chance of surviving when it's critical, when it's really bad. And then if they do, it's about 3 weeks in the hospital. So they told this mother, if your baby lives, the baby will be here for at least 3 weeks in intensive care. We started playing 2 programs, the normal baby program, which is only 7 to 7, and liver frequencies, but I had them play them far away because I didn't know if it was too strong for a newborn. So they were like playing way far away from the incubator. And the baby was home in 48 hours. And the doctors were stunned, and according to the feedback I got, they were going to put in sound systems with those 2 programs so that they could turn them on in the NICU. And this was in Florida, a hospital in Florida. That program has been studied, by the way, at St. Vincent's in Bridgeport, Connecticut for 3 years, 30 babies, A and B. The only results we got, we were told that the study went very well. We're not privy to the results until the study's over, and we don't know if they're going to study them till they're 10. But the one thing the nurse told me was that the nurses cried when they had to decide between baby A and baby B. And just the other day on Facebook, which you could find, there was a little baby having terrible respiratory problems, and I just put the YouTube on her Facebook page. She played it and said the baby's stats changed immediately.
I know.
Yeah, so those are the kinds of stories that I get literally every single day. I mean, almost to the point of completely unbelievable stories, like I bought your wound healing program for $3, played it on my laptop, went to sleep in the other room, and when the nurse came to change the dressing on the wound that I've had for 5 years, there was no wound. Bear in mind, her consciousness level had a lot to do with how quickly those frequencies could respond in her body. That's why they work well for babies, too, because usually their consciousness is, you know, completely open.
Everything is fixed. That's awesome. Can we do another one?
Another program?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You have one for making people giddy and laugh?
No, but can I just tell you what is coming out about that? You know, everything to me is how to deliver sound into the body. So there is a product that should be out this month called Experience Nirvana, not
PH.
nerve, N-E-R, so as in the vagus nerve. Okay. So it doesn't need to be healing music at all. You connect it to your sound source. So let's say it's your phone, but the device looks like a phone, and then your headphones. It immediately forces dopamine into the brain, and you get high. Okay, it's just like going on ecstasy. And you laugh, and you're happy for about an hour.
Nice.
Now, I was thinking adding my stuff to that would be really great, but I do believe that if you're constantly falsely stimulating your own body to produce the dopamine, if you did it ongoing, I think that your body would stop producing its normal level of dopamine, which is the happy hormone. And also, if you don't have it, you get Parkinson's. So, and you get pretty angry, sad, depressed all the time. We need the dopamine. And women lose a lot of that because of their hormones or blood flow in the frontal lobe. So I'm not a fan of using it all the time, but it would make you laugh right away. It would make you high right away, but you need the device on your brain, okay?
Can you produce it now?
We couldn't do that now, but there is a website that you could go to called iDoser, I-Doser, and they make frequencies for every single drug, legal and illegal, okay? And I've watched the YouTubes. I originally called the newspaper when they said they weren't harmful because I believed they were, and they were saying it's okay, it's fine to use them. But that will make you laugh. It isn't in the Rife program, so it just isn't. He didn't have them for drugs that'll make you laugh. And the device, Experience Nirvana, was the #1 technology Kickstarter at the Consumer Electronics Show here in Vegas they have every year. So it was the #1 product, voted the best possible thing. They haven't been released yet. Of course, I have one on order, which I would use for people that are in terrible shape, you know, like they're going to commit suicide. I told you I just went to the assisted living because one of the people I work with was in trauma. I would use it for something like that to just kickstart her out of that situation. And but no, I can't give you one that's going to make you giggle. But iDoser can. So I-Doser. If you're interested in, you know, getting high on sound, you can get high on sound.
I get high. Let's do another example for everyone, please.
Okay, so okay, I'm going to do something called trinaurals. You've heard of binaurals?
No.
Binaurals, where you put one frequency in one ear and a different one in another. Have you ever heard of binaurals?
No.
No. Okay. So, well, the trinaural's way better, just so you know, because it has what's called the bass tone in it. So we'll go to let's see, muscle pain and joint. I think that it will help people that right now have got muscle pain. Is that good?
Sure.
I think most of us, you know, got something like that going on. Okay. So there is. The base frequency is 111. The other frequencies are 4 and 1.5. So that's a very interesting thing going on in your brain. And I'm going to do it for 5 minutes, but you can give me the signal if you want me to stop. Okay? And just listening to it should, you could put it in your water too, but just listening to it for 5 minutes should really immediately have an effect on, you know, your neck or your knees, whatever's hurting. So we'll get that going. Okay, you know what? You're not going to be able to hear it because they're all so low. Can you hear it, Peter?
Yes, I can.
How about now?
Yeah.
You want me to go lower?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Now, if we are operating in the universe, we could have put the scalar waves on, but if you want to think inside the box, you would record it and play it through this into your brain and put it on a little MP3 player or on your phone, and then you can just go around all day long with whatever frequencies you want to change them. But, you know, scalar waves is what I probably should have put on for what we were doing. I just forgot that it had scalar waves and didn't turn them on. So this is a very extensive program, just like you're coming out with so many new things. And this just came out. The universe is gifting us with ways to raise our frequency through you, through the man that makes Beezytronics, through the geniuses of the world. I'm just the one that likes to tell people how to do it. Easy. Old people like me. I prefer working with newborns and people that are in assisted living, and they have such a tough time with technology, the older people. So what I do with them, and what I did for myself today, since I had a neck ache, I infused the frequencies into a menthol gel. And I bought about 20 of these at the 99-cent store and gave 10 of them secretly marked A and B to the flooring company I used to own, and then the other 10 to the nursing home. So that they're testing the A and B, but I got a chance to test it today because when I was turning around looking at this monitor and that monitor, I couldn't turn my head. So I did the A first, no frequencies, and it worked for 10 minutes. Then I did the B, and like I have better range of motion than I've had in a long, long time. But I wouldn't say that it had anything to do with that. It just could have been the way the day was going because I normally don't have a neck ache. So, I mean, I'll be testing this and testing this. Thank God they're only 99 cents. And report back the next time.
Donna, do we have any questions from the listening audience?
We do have questions. And let's see, we've got Dr. Tony in the house. Hey, Dr. Tony. Dr. Tony wants to know what frequency it was being transmitted when you were playing that.
Okay, there were 6 frequencies being played. A bass frequency into the one side of 111, a bass frequency into the, let's say, the right ear, left ear if you had headphones on, 360. The left beat other frequency is 4, left beat 2 is 1.15, right beat frequency 1 was 1.15, and right frequency 2 is 0.05. Now, these are the things that should be used with headphones and going into the brain because it's about getting the brain to entrain, okay? And most people that know about sound know about binaurals, but very, very few people understand how important that bass frequency is as a sound current to get it deeper into the brain. So that's pretty new information, I believe.
Okay, and Regina, you also have headsets and things that you use with these.
This is what I recommend now. You can buy these for $40 on Amazon. They're called bone conduction. I don't like Bluetooth when it's going to the brain because I have seen such a tremendous increase in glioblastoma and brain tumors that it really would scare me to add more EMFs to the brain. So these Panasonic ones are only $20. The price difference is because you don't have to charge these and it doesn't have its own volume control. A lot of people like to be able to really make the music loud. And then other people, mainly most people I know, wear them around their neck because it's frequency only. If it's music, they put them up here on the cheekbones. But if you're listening to just frequencies all day long, like I had the weight loss on for 20 minutes today, I would wear it around my neck, and then it's going in through the bloodstream. So that's really another, and I know that it works because my husband will never put it on his cheekbones, and it works for him almost instantly when he puts it around his neck. So that's what I recommend to deliver it now, are bone conduction headphones.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool. To me, it just sounds like well, actually two things. One, when you output a file from this piece of software, can you change the megahertz of which you're recording at or writing the file to? And does the bit difference have any variation on the subject or degradation in the frequency being delivered? So
you know, I can't answer that question because I don't have the knowledge that you have about it, but the man who made this program, who I've never spoken to, but all the people that have bought the program have all called him and said he's just incredible and he answers every question. So you could probably pick his brain for a long period of time, and if I ever got him on the phone, I'd never let him off. But I cannot answer the question the way you phrased it. I don't have any music background, technical background, recording background, but I am told by one of the women that just bought the program last week for her husband who has glioblastoma, whose doctor is already blown away, that she has a program called Camtasia, which is a very simple recording program, and she recorded the glioblastoma or oculoblastoma. I think it's the tumor in the eye, in the brain behind the eye. So it's not exactly a glio. So those frequencies with some healing music recorded from the angels that have other frequencies in it. It sounded fantastic. So, and she said it took her 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Camtasia. I use that for software videos.
Yeah, so I haven't bought it yet, and it looks complicated to me, but I'm sure if I got someone to train me, then once I have the right recording, which, by the way, we've recorded a piece in an F sharp minor because it has every note of the DNA in it, and the low tone is F sharp. So that means that's the bass. That's why we were talking about the binaurals and the trinaurals. So the carrier wave is the F sharp. That'll be the low tone. That'll give the vibroacoustic effect at the bass. And then the composition is called Gentle Spirit. It was recorded by one of the most famous in our age group, let's say above 50 age group. And I'm not going to say who it is yet because I haven't worked out all those details. So it's the most beautiful composition, and as soon as I have the F sharp low tone put in, which is done by a different technician, then I will be able to put all of these into the Camtasia program and then hopefully get them out there as quickly as I can to people on YouTube. And I know they work, you know, even though it's YouTube. So I'm excited about that. I don't need to pay anybody anymore. And that now that I own the song and own this program, that I could do this all by myself, because a year ago I had to have a technician make each frequency one at a time and then put one frequency at a time in the music. It was quite, you know, a task. But now anybody can do it.
That's awesome.
And it could get into everybody's phone and tablet. It's really awesome.
So, Donna, we are rapidly approaching the end of our time. Do we have any more questions from the listening audience?
We do. So, Energy wants to know, she says, Regina, the pictures on your website show that others are involved with healing, with the healing. Would that be angels?
Oh, yeah, that's really doesn't have that much to do with what we're talking about here. But there was a time in my life that I had an Aura camera, and then it broke. And then after my son died, he knew how much I loved the Aura camera. He turned all of my cameras into Aura cameras. If I touched the camera, it became an Aura camera. So I assure you my daughters wouldn't let me touch their good cameras. But so then it would capture, if I used the camera or my husband used the camera, it would capture different things, emotion. It would capture spirits. It would capture good spirits, and it would capture bad spirits. I quickly learned not to save bad spirits in my computer. So yes, it appears that we have beings when we're doing healing work. So at the time I was doing tuning forks, when the camera really was at its peak, especially the solfeggio frequency tuning forks. That's when it really started going crazy, really, really, and then we would capture the negative entities leaving. It was a normal camera until one night my son appeared in the camera. My sister was having 2 18-hour brain surgeries, and she had breast cancer, and he was a guitar player, and there he was. Behind her, we were out on the boat, drinking, of course, and right behind her, there he is playing his guitar. And from that moment on, the camera could capture spirits. Right before he died, it started to capture all kinds of moving orbs. So this is 2005. But then when I went through the pictures of his life, which mothers do, there were orbs in his pictures from the time he was like a little boy. And every psychic and every astrologer I ever went to told me the same thing: your son will never live to see 20. Now, no, that's very rare that the dispensation allowing a mother to know that was given, and every person validated it over and over and over until right 2 weeks before he died. The channel said he will either die in jail of an overdose or in a car accident within the next 2 weeks, and the decision is not made. It's not final. The details are still being worked out. So that was tough to live with, but I knew it. John always knew it. He handed me his funeral CD about 4 months before he died. I screamed at him, of course. And, you know, so then he turned my camera into something that would teach me. Okay, so he turned it into a teaching tool. And then when he was finished with teaching me that, and needed me to understand about this stuff, he moved me in another direction, and the camera didn't work anymore until about a year after it stopped working. And he said to me, "Mom, take your camera." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I was going to an event where someone was going to sing. So when she was going to sing, he said, "Go to the back of the room and photograph her." So she was singing a song she wrote honoring Jesus, and I took about 20 pictures. She was not in the photographs. The photographs weren't fuzzy. They were crystal clear, and all you could see was an outline of maybe her head and her dress, barely. So I took all those pictures. I wasn't sure what was in them yet because I couldn't see. So then he said, "Okay, now that she's lecturing, take pictures again." So I took about 20 more pictures, crystal clear. She's in every single photograph. So the last lesson that he wanted me to know was that our own voice, when we are in that place of our heart, our head, and our voice in such a high vibration, that we're invisible. We're not there. That's how how light we are. We don't even exist. That was his last lesson. The camera has always been normal since then. So he stopped teaching me that way. And then that was when he started with the frequency work. He said to me, "Mom, if I had heard your voice when I was in the incubator, I would have been okay." And he flashed just 727, and I'm not clairvoyant, 727, like it was a burning red giant 727, and then didn't talk to me for 2 years. So it took me 2 years to research 727, 727, and I had to read all kinds of books, and finally I bought a $200 textbook because I was getting desperate. And finally, it was a list of everybody that's ever made frequencies ever in the history of our world. And I saw 727 Rife Curall and went literally flew off the couch, ran up, jumped into bed, woke my husband up and said, "I found it. And then I contacted a woman named, her name is Suzanne Jonas. She had been in the field since 1986 when John was born, worked with neonatal. We made the Baby Heart Songs program for preemie, addicted babies, and then natural birth with the 727 in it. But she made the frequencies herself for the addicted babies and for neonatal, preemie. So there are very few people that actually make frequencies. This isn't like somebody, you know, like a job you could get. I mean, you kind of just have to have a gift, I think. But anyway, she just came up with the frequencies, and they've worked phenomenal for the neonatal. So I only use what other people, you know, I just make a ham sandwich. I take the frequencies from Royal Rife or from Buddha Clark, put them in the music with vibroacoustics, meaning low tones, and then put dolphins and whales on them or whatever. And we go from there. So I have no technical knowledge. I just put the stuff together because my son basically tells me what to do.
That's awesome story, Regina. Thank you.
I wasn't going to bring him up, and Donna knew that. But I did.
So,
well, thank you for that.
absolutely. So we are at the end of our time together. Regina, can you please let the MDM listeners know how they can get in touch with you?
Yes. The website is soundsforselftreatment.com. And if you sign up for the newsletter, all of the little 1-minute clips that I've made in the last 10 days since I've had this program will be free in that. So it'll be like cold, flu, sore throat, viral complex, weight loss, of course. I only started using that today. So next time I might be skinny. So all of those things will be free, so you can get them in your phone. And the newsletter will come out on 727 because that's the number that got me started on all this. So, and then the program that is now user-friendly for people like us, families, moms, is from BZtronics, bztronics.com. And if you have any questions, email me. I'm happy to answer them. And I'll probably do a YouTube on how easy this is. And you really, anybody that can operate a laptop can operate the BZtronics and get it onto a phone. I'm so excited about the iPhone thing because, I mean, I was treating a little kid with the croup in Germany the other day. I mean, when you know you're doing that, it's just really wonderful. And in 2 minutes, you know, oh, here it is on my phone. Thanks. So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Donna?
thank you.
Yes, well, again, thank you, Regina. And of course, guess we should close out. But Peter, should we do another quick round of what's coming up on the 20th?
We shall. So again, folks, the month of August is going to be really, really busy for us. We have the harmonic field amplifier. It's going to be making its debut. We also have the 3rd generation of master classes spinning off, taking control. There'll be more information on that later this week. We have a free master class this Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can sign up on the website. It's completely free. It's a $400 value and the same caliber that will be expected to be delivered in the 3rd generation master classes in August. And we also have an Aquaware 5 7-day free trial. You can download it right now, put it on your Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, or Windows 10 machine, and really see what all the hype is about with that product. Aquaware 5 is my baby. It's my flagship product. It is coming up on 10 years old, 5 iterations, 5 generations of the software since its inception, July 4th, 2007. It is magnificent. It's beautiful. It's incredibly powerful. And of course, it is free for 7 days. You can download it and play with it, distribute it, put it on other computers, do whatever you want with it. Regina, thank you very, very much. Heartfelt stories, awesome technology. Always loving having people like you on the show. It's an inspiration to my own work. Thank you very much. Thank you, Donna. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.